While we were in Orlando for the Dan Patch Awards, we felt it was really important to hear from the Lady of the Hour. Since she's back in New Jersey preparing for her 3-year-old campaign, we had to settle for her talented trainer. Nancy Johansson sat down with the USTA and gave us some insight into what the transition has been like for her from caretaker to trainer to Horse of the Year trainer, and what it's like to train a super filly. Having been around great horses while working for her father, Jimmy Takter, Johansson is no stranger to great horse flesh, but she does admit it's a little different when it's your name on the program.
As a trainer, you have to make sure that the caretaker's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Plus, you need to manage the horse and condition the horse. So, I mean, it's more responsibility. Some days I miss being a caretaker because you get more of that one-on-one, relationship with the horse that maybe when as a trainer, now I have 3 horses to worry about, not just, the 4 that you're taking care of. So
First and most importantly, I would like to thank my best friend and my husband, Marcus. Without him, fulfilling my dreams would be impossible.
Nonetheless, she's not a barn manager type of trainer and insists on being hands-on with her horses and even a pitchfork occasionally.
I actually like cleaning stalls, I like brushing horses, I'll get horses ready or bathe them or do whatever needs to be done. So I'm not afraid to bitch at all.
This is going to be 2-year-old colt trainer of the year.
Nancy also weighed in on how she processed the stress that comes with an undefeated streak and how she feels about carrying the torch into 2015.
Around Lexington's when and that's when her streak started getting a little bit longer. There are a lot of horses that win, 2 or 3 or 4 races in a row, but when you start getting up into 6, 7, 8 races in a row, then, obviously it puts a little bit more pressure on you.
AK, She's a Lady remains undefeated.
As far as next or this year coming, I kind of feel like last year was last year, and we start fresh this year.
The Katz brothers of Three Brothers stable also felt the pressure coming from the filly's streak and began to hope that this might be the year to trump all.
We try not to think about it, but it was always pressure after you win the first 6. A lot of pressure.
We're superstitious a lot anyway. So we go down there, everyone stays in their same position, whatever. Your lucky socks or something like that, you're going to get dressed the same. But you knew in the back of your mind, you're going to lose someone.
But then there was the driver change from Gingras to Tetrick right before the Breeders' Crown that had a lot of people talking, but didn't faze Johansson or her filly in the end.
I knew she's a great horse. She's easy to drive. I think she does a lot of the work herself. She knows what it's all about. So if you just keep her out of trouble, you should be pretty good going around the track. So I wasn't at all worried.
On the inside, JK, She's a Lady prevails. She's got enough, and she's undefeated. JK, She's a Lady, a perfect 12 for 12.
While the owners were not happy about the switch-up, they remained confident in their filly.
Well, we were confident in the horse, but we weren't happy when Yannick switched and took Brownie Burke's horse for whatever reasons he did it. But we were lucky to have Timmy Tetrick on the sidelines. You can't go wrong with Timmy Tetrick in these races. Got me a little nervous when her last start she had to cut the mile. She never cut it until then. And then when Sassahana came up at the 3/4 pole, yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking, but then she just showed her class. Tetrick just chirped, opened up 2 or 3, and she was gone.
As for Yannick, it was a tough decision, but the kind that comes with the territory of success, and was simply a question of loyalty to him.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of criticism over it. But at some point, also it became a point where it was Ronnie and Jimmy. I drive a lot of horses for Ronnie, I drive a lot of horses for Jimmy. And, Nancy's done a tremendous job with JK, She's a Lady, but I got to show some loyalty.
Whether it was the driver's change, the streak, or simply because it was the Breeders' Crown, Johansson felt the enormity and pressure of Ladies' season that night.
She went behind the gate in the Breeders' Crown. My heart was running, it was insane, and I was like, why do we put ourselves through this pressure? And then after she won the race, I just felt to myself, how am I going to get through another season of doing this? And not only with her, with all the other horses in the barn too, because I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I want everybody to do well.
And while her connections have felt the pressure during her freshman season, Lady seems to just enjoy her job, one of the qualities that Johansson believes sets her apart from the rest.
Physically, she's probably, extraordinary. She probably has, good set of lungs on her and a good heart because she doesn't get tired. And then, her gait, she has a very effortless gait. She goes low with her head where she uses her entire body, and she's not just running with her legs. She's using every muscle in her body to go, and obviously that helps her carry her speed.
Nancy, of course, had nothing but praise for her Horse of the Year filly, and even weighed in on the criticisms that ran rampant on social media and in the industry, addressing those who say you can't have a 2-year-old filly be Horse of the Year.
But you know what, in the end you have to look at the horse with the best records, and it doesn't matter, you know, what you are. It's like saying that if you're born in some place out in the middle of nowhere that you can't be successful, and that just bothers the crap out of me, to be honest with you.
And as for the Katz brothers, they were already preparing for defeat in the Horse of the Year category, having read so many times on the internet that the filly, based on her division, simply couldn't be named.
Never been a 2-year-old filly, so we kind of agreed, you know, you had in the back of your mind not to get too low down if we don't win.
And also things worked her way. Sebastian K got tired. Sweet Lou got into a little rut at the time, and she didn't. She went from June to December undefeated. So how could they not give it to her?
It's a lady, a 16th of a mile of racetrack away from a perfect season, and she's 10 for 10 now.
But fame, fortune, and awards haven't gone to Lady's head just yet. She's back in the barn after a short break and back to business as usual.
She's very, very relaxed and laid back in the barn. You know, she watches everything that goes on, and she's, you know, everybody's kind of favorite. She gets probably pet by every person on the entire barn every day, and everybody's like, oh, how's Lady doing?